One Ugly Swan Song from Slowly in Your Sweetest Hour, a collection of poetry written by Eddie Generazio. A Prayer. Lift the scowl from my wrinkling brow, and all the anger that I'm bleached with now. See the sunrise through the overcast skies, and work on igniting that shimmer once more that dazzled from the sockets of my hopeful eyes. Sidestep to opt out of the rat race of love because I've had just about enough. Ignore all the temptation that claws from the darkness, the hungry and calculated glare of prowess, and rebuild a confidence, the aura that has shriveled. Pump it up with a pulse and nevermore conjure a sincerity that is absolutely false. It is easy, after all, to get used to hurting people. A brand new bed. One last-ditch effort whether to stay or leave was still up for debate. I was moving away and once more watched the tears, the anger from your eyes, with anxiety shading each passing day, acknowledging the distance that would come between us, dividing geographically two spirits that have already glided to separate ends of this world. She called, a lot, and my better judgment swayed. This was undoubtedly the end. One last-ditch effort to capture me again in isolation, again in empathetic contemplation. She swallowed a bottle of pills to announce her own finale. What a swan song. What a youthful swan song of internet and hashtags, of darkness and rage, photographed and posted to the internet for all this town to see. I bought new furniture, brand new bed, one that's fit for a California king. To my surprise, she brought a bed as well. A week's vacation in a hospital bed. I slept sound. The end. Your ghost. What great psycho lurks in the shadows? What calculating maniac cowers behind the authority of God? What abrasive technology grinds out its last heave of self-worth in tears behind a phone call with my name still drying within the cracks of your lips? Should the purest heart sour from the relentless accusations, from the bitter shackles which hold one's limbs in its unforgiving bind? Should the heart of a man be cast of these metals, forged by these obsessive minds behind faces forgotten beneath names which still linger in the mind? What perversion, what criminal, what is this terror I feel, that darkens the brightest memory, that salts the very lake which hydrates my soul, that tests my hopeful mind and condemns me eternally to a hell which is not my own, but yours? Should I permit your memory to be cast in the iron of hate? Should I brand that sacred name onto my flesh with heat, once passionate, once sentimental, which is no longer a tattoo of love but a vengeful scar of hate? Still your specter persists, with a rage that haunts my every dream, with a rage that torments each onward advance, with a rage that shackles your memory to my hope. A specter is all you are, simply awaiting its exorcism. Not today. Months later, thousands of dollars later, I divorced her teenage soul. She lingered, always, just as I'd hoped, but not like this, as a shameful burden which loomed like a storm cloud over each of my hopeful attempts to rekindle that feeling, to recollect how my face felt when it curved into a smile. You were the very joke that kept us laughing. It is so very sad how such a perfect love could fall to such a shame, because every fucking evening it's all the same. And she lays dormant, festering in that solitude, in the desert of that miserable one-horse town, as I write these verses, hopeful to interpret to the world that they are not alone. And if you will never materialize, dear glorious beauty, you've given me that feeling, that hope on the horizon, beyond the railway tracks and dusty sidewalks, onto the gleaming lights of the sunset that appears way off, much too distant to enjoy, glows from the setting sun, but glows anyway. The power of Christian compels you. Leave me now. Published, complete.